Les Burdett has had an involvement down here with the Saka. You mentioned Clint Illaway, boys. A good birthday present for Clint. It's his birthday today. He's back in the team, so let's hope the big fella has a good game.
So the budget, it's wrong, is 34, I think it is today. So 34 years of age, still playing some great footy as well. Went overseas for 12 months after he left North Adelaide, came back to the SANFL, decided he still wanted to play, so great to see him still playing some good footy. And as we say, the ground is in perfect condition here, really handles the water. What rain we've had so far has washed away. Pretty good conditions, not much breeze to speak of, and the first caller will be Chris Kendall.
Umpire throwing the ball up. Logical decision from Andrew Crosby. Riley O'Brien wins the hit out. Does slip through fingers. Should end up now with Pitt on the breakaway. He puts the Tigers into his track straight away there. Good fist in there from the Crows in defence, however. Ball just comes smuggling out towards the Wilson direction. Oh, his head almost taken off there in a tackle. That's got to be a free. Clumsy stuff there by Billy Hayes. Spots up. Man moving out there on the outer side and hits him up.
It was like a professional free kick, Chris.
Yeah, it certainly was. Adelaide just looking to move the ball with numbers. Going out long in towards the Mott direction. Also out there is Cameron. Just dropping in and knocking over the boundary line there is Woolard. We're going to have a throw in about 45 metres around from the Adelaide goal. They are kicking to the northern end. No real breeze to speak of here either. And if the rain does hold out.
It's dropped right away.
Certainly has. Throw in. O'Brien. Tap down. Tigers just winning it away from the stoppage there through the handball from Malira. Clears it out of the danger zone temporarily. Sweeping handball. Spots up there Rioli. Got the handball away down to a teammate, and the Tigers should be away out there through centre wing outer side, Neil.
They get it down towards half forward. Lever was the man who came in for the Crows. He beat a couple and did well. Fed out the hand pass to Grigg. Back into the centre of the play he goes. He finds Crouch. No, it wasn't Crouch. In fact, turning around there and kicking it long was Whitwer. And he went too long and too wide, and it's out of bounds over there on the centre wing. So Crows going sideways on that occasion, Koff.
Yeah, it was off the side of the boot, Josh. Normally a pretty good kick. I coached him for a while at under-18 level. He's a good, highly skilled player. Great to see him getting opportunity at league level with Adelaide.
So the ball thrown in out there. Tell you what, we might not think there's a breeze here, but it's obviously had an effect on that ball as it came back into play. Now the Crows share it through their hands. Eventually they go backwards. And the kick then from Sutcliffe off his non-preferred foot, got it down to centre wing when they've broken away through Kerridge, and Kerridge went down the line, missed his target. He hit Joseph instead for the Tigers, who tried to set her up and immediately turned it over. So they'll go inside half forward, the Crows. It's come to Callanan off the ground, and Callanan approaches goal, and from 35 metres he's just sprayed it to the left for the minor score, the opening score of the night. We've gone through a couple of minutes. Adelaide leads it by just the one behind.
Yeah, good work there by Keenan Ramsey too. Trapped the footy, gave the ball off there, the skipper in Callanan. Had a chat to him last night on the Thursday night league team show. He's highly skilled. He normally slots those 9 out of 10.
See a fairly big kick, and that's gone straight into the centre there of the Glenelg oval. Lonergan meets it up. Just needs a bit of support there from Snook and gets it. Looping handball comes over the top end towards the Nason direction here, grandstand wing. He looks to try and get the clearance away. Only one Crow in there. Was almost able to get the stoppage out. But now the ball smuggles out towards the Johansson direction. He puts the Tigers deep into attack. Lever just dropping back. Couldn't quite take the mark. They should be able to work it away now. No, they've coughed it up here to Rioli. Now needs to just keep his feet, work his way around. Has a flying step at the goals. Gee, he was just about on his back there. That flying from 35 minus score, however, scores one behind a piece.
Great recovery, Chris, there by Rioli. He went to ground, he was up and around the corner kick. Just couldn't bring it back far enough, but good start there to the Tigers.
Crows go to the far side of the ground. Now, was that off hands and over the line? In the end, it wasn't. No. It didn't come off any hands, according to the umpire out there, although begging to differ was Riley O'Brien. Anyway, it'll come back straight into the forward line for the Bays. Ball on the ground, Whitwer couldn't take it. Nason could, but then his hand pass was smothered. Players around the ball, one of them, Nason, ducked his head. Umpire said, no, give it to me. So it's about 40 metres out straight in front of the goal face for the Bays. Wait on the umpire, throws it in the air. Lots of players around the ball, we expect that. Nobody able to get clean possession. Finally comes out to Joseph, goes for the hand pass. Fell into the hands there of Carey, who just cleared the area. Adelaide with an opportunity, and they'll get away. O'Brien slips a hand pass to Grigg, and then wide he went to Martin. Martin looks back inside and decides, no, I'll just belt it down the line. Helicopter of a kick, punched away by the Bays defence, out of bounds, almost back to where Martin kicked the ball in the first place.
Yeah, there's what breeze there is, Neil. Even though there's not a great deal of breeze here at the moment, the ball is definitely carrying to the southern end of the ground, which is where the Tigers are kicking. So the Tigers need to get a couple of goals up, you would think, at quarter time.
O'Brien and Miller wrestling each other there at the stoppage. Comes down towards Joseph. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Whitwer, a little bit too high, said the umpire, and he'll get the free. Centre wing out of side. One behind a piece, 5 minutes in. Friday night RPH football. Chris Kendall, Neil Cross, Grant Coffey, Phil Aspinall bringing you all the action here from Anzac Day Eve. That's a terrible kick from Joseph. That has gone out of bounds on the full, and Martin will be the man to bring it back in. Phil Aspinall down on the boundary.
Yeah, guys, not sure if you noticed, but those here at the ground, you'll see the digital scored over in the cricket net training pocket. But just looking up at the scoreboard, the traditional one, and apparently Glenelg are playing North.
Unless there's been a merger in the last few minutes we don't know about.
Might be a carryover from the game before, I think, Philip.
I'm guessing so. So we'll substitute North for Adelaide. Martin does bring it back in just next to the aforementioned scoreboard. Miller just bundled O'Brien out of the contest and was able to take a strong mark. Brings it in now towards the attacking line again. Just slips through Lever's fingers. Ball now on the turf for Adelaide. Trying to work his way through there is Scott. Happy to run that through for a minor score though, the Crows. That is 2 behinds there to Glenelg and 1 behind to Adelaide.
It's much the same as the way Adelaide's game last week against West Adelaide started, where it was almost a soccer game in the way it was played defensively. Now Adelaide goes wide from the kick in and just inside the boundary. Chest mark taken by Maddie Crouch. She did well to pull that in. Breeze, obviously, as we mentioned earlier, coming from westerly, perhaps northwesterly, blowing the ball to that side of the ground, the outer side of the Bay Oval. Crouch called the play on, got it back towards centre wing, almost a mark there to the Bays. Nason at the foot of the pack. He bundles or tries to bundle the ball under his arm and run through the pack, and the umpire said that's okay, you can try and do that, but Keenan Ramsey had a good hold of him, and so he forces the ball up. So it's on the far side of the centre square. Ball comes back towards the Bays, and they share it out to Bradley, the captain, around the corner, and somehow it found its way through, and they'll go straight bang into attack. They go for Alloway in the goal square. It's beaten him, and over the back of the pack it goes for the minor score, and Alloway looks up and said, no, I wanted a pass on the lead. Didn't quite get it. So another point goes on to the Glenelg score. It's 3 points, plays 1, and we've gone through nearly 7 minutes in this opening term. Hasn't been enthralling football.
That's an understatement. I don't think we'll see too many highlights on the recovery session for this first passage of play as Adelaide bring it back in from the stoppage. You're looking down again for O'Brien. Good punch in there from Miller, and it spots up Curran. Now he gets it over down towards Scott, who just sends a hacking kick again in towards the 50. Little bit too hot down there for Alloway. Lever cuts it off. He's on hands and knees though. Needs to try and work his way around there. Your hands a great tackle from Alloway. Good first tackle from Johansson. Alloway finished it off, and he'll be lining up from about 30 metres out, just near the scoreboard, about a 30-degree angle, Croft.
Yeah, and Lever did everything right. He won the footy. His second effort was really good, but then he tried to take off and run away from the pack. Just didn't have the acceleration, the pace to do so. You'll be happy to know scoreboard has been fixed, Chris, and North Adelaide have been removed. Adelaide has gone up, so great to see they're playing tonight.
So Glenn Alloway been on the wrong side of the free kick ledger this year. 4-6 against. Gets one for and gets a goal, and that's the first on the board for the Tigers. They are 1-3-9. Adelaide are 1 behind, and for all their attacking Glenelg, they do get some scoreboard reward, Koff.
Yep, and they need it as well because, as we said, we can kick goals to either end tonight, but the ball is carrying further to the southern end goals here, and that was the scoring end in the under-18 game as well. The school end. What school is that there? That's the
Glenelg Primary, isn't it?
Glenelg Primary. Yeah, be a few footies on that roof over the years, I would have imagined.
Yeah, but they didn't stay there long.
Maybe. Maybe.
They might tonight. Although if you get onto one at that end, it's probably going to end up somewhere near Chris's place, down south. Ball back in the middle. 8 points the margin in favour of Glenelg. Wait on the umpire. He signals there's a free kick.
Off the footy.
Down in the Adelaide 50.
And it's in the 50 down the ground. Well, Matty Crouch was away. He thought, well, great, I can just take the ball, bounce it out of the middle and go for broke. But instead, Keenan Ramsey was the player offended, too high. It was inside the forward 50. In fact, 40 out, straight in front, and Ramsey has the shot at goal.
How can you have a too high call with a centre bounce down? Very strange one.
So Ramsey comes in, kicks from 45, likes it straight off the boot, and there's no mistake. And they get the answer in goal without the ball even virtually going to the middle of the ground. So it is 1-3-9 for the Bays, and Adelaide 1-1-7. And both sides getting their first goal within 60 seconds
and the
of each other.
Yeah, the runner's gone out as well. I think it was on Warwick McGinty, I should say. And it's an interesting one because the umpire was bouncing the ball down in the middle. It was a free kick inside, forward 50 for the Adelaide side. Over the neck, said the umpire. We didn't see it off the footy, but undisciplined stuff there by the Tigers, giving away the free kick. And the kick was a ripper.
Certainly was. And so was the bounce by the umpire. That's a beautiful one there. It's the advantage there of O'Brien. And Adelaide do win the stoppage there from Martin. Puts him up there towards the true centre-half forward line. Cameron just slipped over at the wrong moment. Ball just now smuggles out here for the Tigers. Backwards handball there from Curran. They should be able to clear it away here, Glenelg, and they do. They spot up Hayes out there at half-back. So Hayes, half-back out of side. Looks to go long and direct.
Well
Good work there from Alloway. Just work lever out of the ball.
Too
His handball
slow.
off to a teamer under all sorts of pressure. Yep, holding the ball. Man, a little bit too slow to get rid of it there was Lockie Earl.
But even the handball though, Chris, he put him under pressure as soon as he gave him the handball. He probably should have just kicked it himself from about 55.
Yep, certainly should have. And they spot up Spenceley out there at half-back. The resplendent blue boots keeps it on that centre wing outer side again. Big fly on the front there from Miller. Ball just bobbling around there at the bottom of the turf. Crouch in there, trying to extract it away from the stoppage Adelaide. They do now through Martin. He clears it away, puts him up in towards the attacking zone. Tiger player there on hands and knees under a fair bit of pressure there from Mott. We're going to have a stoppage and a ball up. It's right at the top of the 50 there for Adelaide. They are 117, Glenelg 139. We've got 11 minutes first term.
And Mott just been caught behind there, the big fella who's playing centre-half forward tonight for the Crows. He's got the height advantage, needs to play in front.
Bay's able to extract the ball, but only briefly. It's still on the ground. Comes to Crouch. Hand pass over the top was quite brilliant. It was almost in Mott's hand and just intercepted. Now a high tackle comes in, and it will be a free kick. Matthew Spenceley will be the player who will go back and take it for Adelaide. Just a high tackle, and he's about 40 out straight in front, which was basically where Keenan Ramsey kicked the opening goal for Adelaide. So it'll just be a question of how he can go with his accuracy. So he comes in, drives it hard. Breeze gets a hold of it, holds it up. In fact, it doesn't even make the distance. Mott takes it off the pack, round on the left foot, gets past one, gets past another, and a goal, and the Adelaide Crows are in front. So 2-1-13 for Adelaide. Mott did brilliantly with that goal. 1-3-9 for Glenelg. 12 minutes gone, opening term.
Interesting player, this one. He had a couple of cracks at it at South Adelaide, and for whatever reason he decided to move back to one of his local clubs down south. But good recovery there by the big fella. He's gone straight onto the ball. And Phil, you've got some news down on the boundary.
Yeah, guys, Koff and I mentioned it on the league team show last night, but Isaiah Rakiwaza, the brother of Aziri out at the Eagles, former Port player, of course, making his league debut tonight for the Tigers, out on the field now for his first run.
Thanks to Lasman, doing a great job down there on the boundary. Miller, tap down, stoppage, Grigg. Couldn't quite work it away. He's under a fair degree of pressure there from a pack of Tigers. We're going to have another ball up. Umpire Crosby just coming in and trying to clear some space. Callanan barking out the instructions there in the centre. Ball just cleared away there by Kerridge from the stoppage. Brings that now towards this grandstand side, but the Tigers have got numbers and should be able to clear it away down there looking for Bailey, but that was a good strong mark taken down there by Sutcliffe. Was a good mark, Chris, that one. So centre wing grandstand side, he elects to go backwards, however, where they have managed to find the +1 on its lever. Now they're going deep in defence again when they get Pfeiffer, who looks to bring it back in board. Adelaide just looking to hold possession, bringing it now towards true centre-half forward. Yeah, spotting up the man there again in Pfeiffer. Still deep in defence though, Adelaide. Just playing patient build-up now. Spenceley at half-back. Wheels around. Oh, he's got a loose man out here at centre-half forward. Man running onto it there. It's Wilson. Here goes the pace. 30 metres out, straight in front. He wouldn't miss from there. Surely, no, he won't. Great work there from Anthony Wilson. Showed all the pace that blitzed for Adelaide in the Northern the grand final last year. And that gets the margin now out to 10 points.
And that there is the reason he was drafted by Adelaide, Chris, off a couple of performances last year, just with his pace, electric pace. And he was actually able to run away from a standing start from two opponents. And it was great to see him kick the goal as well. It was a bit of a wobbly kick off the boot, but directly in front, 30 metres out. Great pace. And Adelaide are up and about at the moment, using the ball well and trying to use the corridor.
Adelaide by 10 points. How would you like to see a match race between Charlie Cameron and Anthony Wilson? They are lightning.
Yep.
Ball back in the middle. Mott's in there for Adelaide. Clearance comes to Joseph for Glenelg. Inside half forward he goes with a kick. Lever off the top of the pack. Took it away, went to the outer side. They share it through their hands. Crouch. And then outside he went. And they had a bit of room out there, and they've managed to get it to centre wing. Mott dropped what he should have taken under pressure from Bradley. He hand passed it forward. They've done all right, Adelaide. They've got it down to half forward. Outer side of the ground, Martin couldn't take it, and the ball out of bounds. Out there at right half forward for Adelaide. Scoreboard looking good for them after they trailed early. 3-1 plays 1-3. Ball to be thrown in. Umpire hurls it back in. And Mott did well. Going to ground, tried to get the tap out as Alloway buffeted him. Now he's given away the free kick too high, so it'll be Pitt with the free kick for Glenelg, and he goes down the line and stays on that outer side of the ground, and Lever got his man under the ball and took a nice mark.
Certainly did. He's been quite busy early, Lever. Keeping it again on that outer side towards the centre wing. Big fly in there from Mott, couldn't quite bring it to ground. Numbers now are with the Tigers, and it's through Woolard. Cruising, got a teammate cruising through the centre, and he's got a man breaking into all sorts of space out here. Grandstand side, it's Alloway. Dropped what he should have taken, but dances around. 40 metres out, just looks to pop it in towards the square. Plenty of numbers flying there. Scott looks to have taken them out. No, didn't quite bring it to ground. Ball just bobbling around to the bottom of the pack there. Hayes smuggles out now and towards the Malia direction, but Adelaide should be able to clear it away, you would think. Ends up in the lap there of Bradley, however, to cut it off. Ridden into the ground, Nason just extracting it from the stoppage. Spots up a teammate there in the attacking zone, and he'll be lining up from just in front of the Snouts pocket. Looks to be Josh Scott, but he's going to be on a fair angle, Cough. Oh, I reckon that's about a 70-degree angle if my geometry school worked.
But it won't be that hard though, Chris, because I reckon the ball will drift from left to right, so it just needs to put it to the top of the square, and it should just come around nicely. Good work there by Benny Nason. Good to see him getting involved early in this game.
Let's see what Scott's like. 15 metres out, 70-degree angle. Puts the banana in.
That's all he had to do.
Oh, bananas are made for eating, as Scott will tell you. That brings the margin back to 4 points. 2-3-15. The Crows are 3-1-19. We have gone 16 minutes into this first term.
Oh, this is a bad sign, guys. Kerridge coming off the ground, limping. Looks like he's limping on his left leg there. Not sure what his injury was before, but that doesn't look good for a guy who's spent quite a bit of time already on the sidelines, and he's just complaining of a driver by the look of it. Phillip, you might be able to get on top of that.
Yeah, I saw the trainer go out to him, Cough, earlier at the contest, complaining, I think, a little bit of pain on the outside of the left knee. So obviously Kerridge has had the issues with the hamstrings over his journey, particularly this year, but a bit of a knee problem. But I'll get an update at quarter time. And the rain's starting to fall as well, boys.
Oh, joy. 17 minutes gone in this opening term. 4 points the margin in favour of the Adelaide Football Club. Out of the middle, we'll get a secondary ball up, so it won't actually come out of the middle. Alloway in there with Mott, who had the better of the tap. Got it back, Lonigan gathered it quickly, and they went wide. Well, coming through unexpectedly somewhat was Rakawasa. I don't think the ball was meant for him, but he tapped it to his own advantage, kicked it inside half forward, but out of bounds. We'll get a throw in. Left half forward for the Bays. Out there in the vast outer where there are not too many people, but those that are there are brave, and they're rugged up pretty well against this breeze.
Certainly are. Mott going into the ruck now opposed to Miller. Boundary throw in 50 metres out from the Glenelg goal. Mott goes back in there again. Cameron impeded in the out of disposal. Umpire said he didn't have prior opportunity. Play on advantage. Cameron puts on the afterburners, but that's a good smother in there from the Tigers. Yeah, could have almost been holding the ball, I thought. Lonigan, Snook, searching handball's a little bit untidy. Set it up down there for the teammate working through there in Rakiwaza. Jackie also lending some support. We're going to have a ball up just at the top of the Glenelg 50.
Very unlucky, the Tigers, Chris, because it looked like that Cameron got caught holding the ball. He's actually a bit sore after this tackle as well, so he's limping up to the forward lines as well at the moment.
Martin, third man up. He got it away from the stop. It was only as far there as Malera, and they go deep into the 50, and it's that man Alloway again. And he'll be lining up probably from about 30 metres out, but straight in front, and he won't miss, Cough.
Now, let's have a think back. How long's Clint Alloway been here? Has it been 10 years? It'd be 8 years, I would have thought. 8 to 10 years. He'd be one of the best marks in his time over that journey, overhead. Gee, he's been a good mark over the years. Strong.
He only just showed a jerk off straight in
No,
front.
I'm talking about in the last 10 years.
No, fair goal. And he pops that one straight through the middle for his second goal of the night.
Yep.
3-3-21 Glenelg. The Crows are 3-1-19. It's a very free-flowing contest as we haven't even got its time on yet. 19 and a half gone.
Yeah, and once again, Tigers, they've moved the ball pretty quickly on occasions, and when you give Allaway space and he's one out against a young guy in Lever, just too good. Got a great set of hands on him, as I said.
Second lead change of the opening quarter. Bay's back in front. They lead by 2 points. Just closing in on time on in this opening term. Ball thumped into the turf. Les Burdett's precious turf as it is down here. That's why the ball's bouncing so high. What a perfect wicket he produced for Sheffield Shield cricket. Brodie Martin on the wing, meanwhile, is taking a mark. Looks back to his right, nothing available. Now he decides to put it for Crouch, and he misses him by a long way. Yep. That breeze just held the ball up. Malira, as the rain starts to really tumble down, he gave it out wide, and they go down to half forward with a kick, sliding towards the boundary line. They do pretty well, the Bays, to keep it in through Johansson, and then he goes inside half forward with the kick, but to no effect because it's intercepted. And now we can get a real gauge of the wind because the rain is coming down at 45 degrees, favouring the southern end of the ground, Cough, and that's a real indication that the Bays have the advantage of the breeze. Umpire spotted a free kick on centre wing. It'll go to Adelaide.
So Adelaide through Lever. Just look to square it up now towards Grigg. Just in the centre of Glenelg Oval. Looks to pop it up towards E-True, centre half forward line. Strong mark taken at the back there by Ramsey. But he's still in the centre of the Glenelg Oval. Plenty of numbers in front of him now too. So he's going to have to try and work his way very patiently through this. Needs a bit of help out there on the outer side and gets it through Lever, who goes up now towards Grigg at the top of the 50. Now he's just near the digital scoreboard. He's looking to try and square it up. It's a beautiful pass to Cameron.
Oh, worm burner.
Bullet-like, wasn't it? Now Charlie Cameron will be kicking from about 45 metres out as the rain is starting to bucket down. Just keeping an eye on where Phil Aspinall is, and if he's sensible, he'll be in one of the timekeepers' boxes down there, I'd suggest, or the umpire's boxes.
Chris, Mitch Grigg must have been very close to getting a call up, been in good form.
Would have thought so. Cameron's kick. It's just going to fall about 2 or 3 metres short, and this does set it up for Miller to take a mark on the last line of defence. Hands it off now. Scott moving there at half back. But working it quickly now, the Tigers. Now it's through Bailey at half back just near the Glenelg Cricket Club. Looks to square it up, but they had to be absolute pinpoint, and it was to Earl. Gets the handball off now towards Scott, who just hoists it in towards the attacking 50. Boundary line is going to win out, though. That had a fair bit of hoof on it. We're going to have a throw-in. Just beat Johansson over the boundary line right in front of the Louts. They'd be happy at the moment. 3-3-21. The Crows 3-1-19. Wouldn't be happy with the rain, though, Crossy.
No.
Going for distance there, I think, with that kick.
Yeah, got the distance. And I'm not sure if you saw it, guys, but there was a tent, I suppose you'd call it, down in that pocket in the under-18s game. The wind got hold of it and it took over to the primary school.
Ball thrown back in. At the foot of the pack was Crouch, released it. Johansson over the ball now. We'll wait on the umpire. Says, I'll have it. Takes it from the Bays player, Jake Johansson, the former Port Adelaide Magpies player. Throws it in the air quickly. Love this in the SANFL. They don't muck around talking to the players about, I'm just going to step back here, boys. Instead, they just get the ball and throw it in the air. And we get another stoppage. Haven't missed anything. It's straight out in front of the Bays goals. 20 metres out. Allaway taken to ground. Umpire says, no, that was all okay. Crouch was in the middle of the pack. So was Grigg trying to get a hand pass out. No clean possession. A lot of players, as you'd expect, around the ball. Lonergan was at the base of the pack. He released it. Then Cameron, it might have been, who was thrown to ground. Finally, it's come out for Adelaide. They managed to clear the zone, but only so far. Scott, or rather, it was Miller who picked it up, slipped the hand pass out. They'll go back forward again through Pitt, the Bays. Then he hand passed to Nason, who was taken high, but he was on the duck. The umpire said that's okay. Quickly plays on, inside 50 with his kick. At the foot of the pack was Bailey, and he tries to roll one towards the goals. He's done it. Well, that was out of nothing. And Bailey, with a tremendous shot at goal, in just his 11th goal in league football. He's only played the 18 games. He's got the 4th on the board for the Bays. They move along now to 4-3-27 to the Crows, 3-1-19. We've gone through 24 minutes in the opening term, and yes, the rain is still coming down.
Yeah, it's pouring at the moment, and what a great goal there by young Darcy Bailey. It was an end-over-end kick. It sort of bounced and rolled forward and had the left-to-right action happening beautifully. His first goal of the game, and Glenelg's fourth, 4-3-27. The Adelaide side 3-1-19.
Back in the centre, Snook looping a handball over the top there towards Rioli, who gets the clearance now for the Tigers. We'll cross down to Phil Aspinall shortly. Tap down, and Adelaide should be able to work this around. Gee, they're mucking around with handball a little bit now. Spenceley on hands and knees. Ball just hacks back in there through Howard from the Tigers. But it's going to beat head over the boundary line. There's Carey. We're going to have a throw in next to the scoreboard, Phil.
Yeah, Chris, just wanted to make comment. Fantastic goal from Darcy Bailey, of course, but also fantastic acknowledgement from the Glenelg Footy Club. Was in today's advertiser that they've named the new coaches box up in the grandstand here at the Bay after, of course, Darcy's dad, Dean, who passed away sadly last year. So a fitting tribute, and what a great goal from Darcy, rather.
Certainly was. Great gesture there by the Tigers. Callanan spun around on the stoppage there by Lonergan. Another ball up. It's about 35 metres out from the Glenelg goal. The kick into the school end, 4-3-27. Adelaide 3-1-19. Grigg tries to win it away at the stoppage. Snook's having none of that. Another ball up. And you sense we're going to see a lot of this sort of stuff tonight. A lot of rolling stoppages, a lot of balls up. And someone will just get a sudden clearance away into space. And right on cue they do through Grigg. Only as far as Miller. He's been in everything, actually.
Yeah,
he's the big fella. Oh, it's an infringement.
Yeah, off the ball.
Cameron was the man who took the advantage of it. Now he pops out into space out here at half forward. One-on-one contest. Just needs the ball to sit up there for Spenceley. He looks to tuck it in towards the 50, but it's all the Tigers back here. Good strong mark taken back there in defence by Galley. He's got a man running for him over the top, and the Tigers should be away now through half-back outer side where it meets up with Nason.
So Nason forced to hold up. Then he goes down looking for Bailey. It's knocked away from him towards the boundary line. It'll go over the boundary line. The Crows defender there in ribbons was the man who came across. Bailey, a bit of a throwback too. His father used to like to wear the long sleeves. He's the only player on the ground who's wearing long sleeves is Darcy Bailey tonight. So the ball to be thrown back in on the outer side. Miller goes at it. Doesn't get the tap. That was well done by O'Brien with the body for Adelaide, but players settle around the ball. We'll get another ball up. Must be close to quarter time. 8 points the margin, 26 gone, nearly 27 minutes in this opening term. Umpire throws it up. Brodie Martin tried to get through. Might have been O'Brien who finally got the ball forward, but it's going to come back straight away. Woolard put the ball to boot and ploughed it back towards his forward 50, and then high was the shot from Scott. It was coming through heavily on the Adelaide player there. And I think it was Luke Carey who had his head over the ball. It was. Thanks for that, Chris. And he'll take the free kick in the rain and the darkness at right half back for Adelaide.
Out towards that centering outer side. Mott went for a big fly but couldn't quite bring it to turf. Adelaide should be able to clear it away from the stoppage. It's going to end up towards the 50-metre arc. Couldn't quite take it there was Malera. Goes on hands and knees. He was pushed to the back there. Umpire Crosby straight on that at half back. As this rain is starting to absolutely bucket down. This is going to be one of the more fun nights of the football that we've all had. Squares it up in towards Galley, and you think he'd be at home in these conditions, Galley. Just think about that one at home, folks. Nason. Still at half-back cricket club side. Water is flooding off the grandstand roof too. McGinty, that was ambitious, went for an overhead mark, straight through his fingers. Another pack situation develops. You think there'll be another ball up here. Good tackle in there from Ribbons. It's going to be a ball up centre wing grandstand side. Glenelg 4-3-27, Adelaide 3-1-19. And that is your quarter time score, folks, on Friday night RPH football. Very free-flowing start, Cough. 6 goals in the first 19 minutes. It slowed a bit after that, not surprisingly.
Yep, you're right there, Chris. And as we have a look at the goal scorers, first of all, we'll have a look at the Tigers. It is 2 goals to Clint Alloway, then singles to Darcy Bailey. Get the big interviews, Philip. And he might add Matty Loken.
I got Matty Locken with me. Obviously, pretty trying conditions, but a good start for the boys.
Yeah, good start. Now our biggest test is to be able to do it for 4 quarters.
No worries. Thanks for your time. Pretty short and sharp, boys. And a quick update from Adelaide Oval. Last scores I got coming through on the SANFL Twitter account, was that Port Adelaide were up by 19 points.
You need to toughen up down there, Phil, to get more than one question out of the coach. You're normally better than that. I know it's raining and you want to get back into that box there, but...
Matty wanted to go.
Can't blame him. Tapped down one there by Miller, but it was straight to the lap there of Callan, and he tapped it forward to the advantage of Wilson at the stoppage. Ball just cleared away there initially by Crouch. It was as far as Joseph. Ball didn't travel the required distance, however. Now working it away from the stoppage is Bradley. Looks to keep it again on the outer side. Town of Handballs now ends up with Snook, who puts it in towards the 50. Only two men down there. One of those is away, the other is Lever. Former tried to get a handball away, but it's really like trying to juggle two cakes of soap at the moment. The big fella was caught holding the ball. Lever wins it away. Keeping it again on the outer side. Gee, big fly out there from the Adelaide Crows. Ruppington O'Brien, rather ambitious, I would have thought. Boundary throw in, centre wing outer side.
Big Ellis wasn't happy with himself there. He had the foot. He just couldn't get a handball off. He couldn't just get purchase the footy. Didn't have any runners either to give the footy to.
No, they were certainly playing a very open forward line. Ball about to come spinning back into play. O'Brien and Miller. I reckon Miller's been close to the best man on the ground at the moment. He's 204 centimetres too. No mean
he's
feat.
Been good.
Certainly has, but they do clear it away from the stoppage, the Tigers. Scott meets it. Sends a looping handball over the top there towards Bailey. His kick's been partially smothered, but it comes back to him. So Bailey tried to keep it in, but the mark's been cut off out there at half-back by Pfeiffer.
And you mentioned Josh Miller too, Chris. He's 204 centimetres, only 20 years of age, so he's still got a career ahead of him at AFL level as well if he can put some performance together.
Pfeiffer's kick was a stray. Now it's all down to half forward for the Bays, and Malira turns inside.
Well
Great pick up by Scott. The hand pass wide for Johansson. Johansson aims it at the right post. He perhaps should have aimed it at the left. And as a result, it just stayed right and went away for the minor score. So they probably butcher an opportunity there, the Bays. 4-4-28 to 3-1-19. The Bays lead it. 1 minute 53 seconds into the second term here at the Bay.
So Adelaide to bring it back in through Wigg. They're going again on the outer side. That's extraordinarily helpful in trying conditions when you're on the grandstand. Grigg, Maynard wins it away from the stoppage. Centre wing outer side. Gee, they've transitioned straight into attack very quickly down here. And, yeah, player was being held there in the contest, and it looked to be Cameron. And he's going to get a free kick there, probably about 40 metres out, just near the scoreboard. A little bit careless here from the Tiger defence.
Yeah, and it's what happens, though, when you've got pace on your side, because the defenders start to get a bit nervy. They start to look for you, grab onto your jumper, not let you get away, and that's what happened there for Cameron. He'll receive the free kick from 35.
Unloads. Ball just needs to come back on the breeze. Rotten spot for a post if you're an Adelaide fan, and there are some here tonight. 3-2-20, Adelaide 4-4-28, 8-point margin, 2.5 gone.
Bayes to bring it in. Lucky for Cameron, he looked like he judged that pretty well.
Yep.
And Bayes, well, Bradley thought about coming this side of the ground, kicked it to himself, went to the outer side, looked for McGinty, outmarked by Martin. Gee, that's no mean effort. He gave him about, 20 centimetres in height and still outmarked him. So Martin inside 50 with his kick, and just inside, yes, just inside, it was marked by Kenan Ramsey on the chest, right in front of that scoreboard, which shows the Bays by 8 points at the moment. So Ramsey, hard against the boundary line, hard against the fence, in fact. Just takes out the mouth guard. Why do players do that? Never quite worked that out. Ramsey comes in, sets it up high. He's not going to make the distance, and it'll be punched through for the minus score. And it looked like the fist of Warwick McGinty on that, the vice-captain of the Bays. So another minus score, another opportunity for the Bays to see if they can work the kick in.
They take out mouthguard so they can express themselves more clearly when they miss, Crossy, after that. Ball brings it back in, Tigers. Snook, they're at the bottom of the pack. Ball just bobbles around.
Oh, that's a
take there by McGinty, but it didn't travel the required distance, so the Tigers will be able to clear it away. But gee, it's all Adelaide back here again. Mark taken out there by Pfeiffer.
Did that well.
He did indeed.
Stood under it.
Centre wing outer side, just looks to put it back in again towards the 50. Just slipping through numbers there at the back, but that's going to be a free kick to Adelaide again by the looks of things. Spenceley was the man taken high, but let's face it, it's not hard to take Spenceley high, smallest man on the ground, and he'll be lining up from 35 metres out, almost directly in front.
And I tell you what, he does the Joel Selwood a bit as well. As soon as he feels a bit of contact, sort of drops the knees and accentuates it. So it's his second free kick too high.
Wouldn't want to miss from there, you wouldn't think.
And he has.
He has. Umpire's gone a long way to the right. They just snuck in for a minor score. 3-4-22, Glenelg 4-4-28. 1 goal margin as we tick over towards 5 minutes. Phil Aspinall and Neil Cross.
Yeah, guys, quarter time score from Adelaide Oval. It is Port Adelaide leading Norwood 3-1 to 1-2.
So Bayes in the left forward pocket, and that ball just off the boot of the Bayes was just smothered off the boot, and Grigg finally takes it over the line. So we're about 25 metres around from the goal face now in the right forward pocket for Adelaide. Wasn't the greatest of kicks, Galley it was, who got just too close to the man on the mark. So right in front of Snouts Louts, we'll get the ball thrown back into play. Opportunity again for Adelaide. They haven't made the most of it early in this quarter. Callanan running through almost off the back. Cameron put his head down, took the punishment, and there was plenty coming his way. Now they barrel in over the ball. 5 or 6 players on it, and the umpire says, I'll have it. So they managed to slightly get the ball back to the central position and a chance to shoot at goal for Adelaide if they can get it off this stoppage.
Wilson's by himself out the attacking side if they can get it around to him. Ball up. Another scrimmage develops. Another ball up. And by the looks of things, Rakiwasa's turning into RPH. He went straight to Wilson right after that. Ball slipping through. Rioli. He was surely being held there at the contest. Umpire saw that one. He's going to come back now to half-back for Glenelg. Phil Aspinall down the boundary.
Yeah, guys, I just figured after my hard-hitting interview with Matty Locke, and I better provide the coverage with some substance. And Sam Kerridge, I reckon he's done for the night, boys, because he didn't actually go out to the huddle. I think that knee issue might be causing him some concern.
It was a driver, Phil. If you bothered to go over there and find out, you would have realised that. But you kept him the nice warmth down there.
Rioli was looking down there for Malera, but cutting it off there is Cameron. Pops it in towards the top of the square. Wilson. Callanan sends his opponent over the boundary line right in front of the Snouts. That's a brave move at the best of time. Boundary throw in as the rain starts to come down again.
Chris, quick update, some stats here. Joseph 9 for the Tigers, Lonigan with 8, Bradley 7, Scott 7, and I'll give you the Adelaide next break as well.
Thanks, Goff. Boundary throw in. Mott opposed to Miller. Ball just bobbling around again there at the stoppage, but Glenelg do win it away. There's only one Tiger down in here, and it's Alloway. Plenty of Crows down there, but the boundary line will win out. It's going to be a throw-in centre wing grandstand side. Glenelg 4-4-28, Adelaide 3-4-22. Grant Coffey, then Neil Cross.
Yep, and for Adelaide leading the way there, Jake Lever 10, Carey 10 as well, Grigg 8, Martin 8.
Right in front of the grandstand, the players' race, where all the sensible people are actually in the grandstand. And the ball's thrown back into play. It looked like a throw out of there, but the umpire said that was okay. I don't know, he had a good look at it. It goes up towards the Tigers' forward line. Well trapped by Alloway. Hand pass came out, then the snap at goal coming from Hayes. What's the bounce like? Well, it bounced up high when it probably, you would think, would have slipped off the ground and straight through. The ball was rushed through in the end. Might have been Lever who knocked it through, maybe Pfeiffer. And Adelaide quick, though, to transition. And there's some friendly fire there.
O'Brien's knocked his own teammate over. It comes back now towards Lever at half-back.
That was Mitch Grigg. He's up, Mitch, though.
Clear it away from the stoppage. And it's Smart, who looks to go long and deep up in towards attack, but it's been cut off down there well by Bradley in the back pocket. Matter of fact, that was Ribbons who delivered that. So Bradley, scoreboard back pocket. At the moment it is Glenelg by 7 points as the rain is bucketing down. They go again on the outer side, and the boundary line wins out, courtesy of a tap down there from Miller. 4-5-29 Glenelg, Adelaide reserves 3-4-22, 8.5 gone. Second term Friday night RPH football, your home of SANFL. Chris Kendall, Neil Cross, Grant Coffey, Phil Aspinall down on the boundary. Throw in, O'Brien, opposed to Miller. Going on hands and knees there is Hayes, but he's been well trapped there by O'Brien. Ball just smuggles out towards the back. Only one Tiger out there, and he wasn't going to be able to win against a nest of Crows. We're going to have a throw in, a murder of Crows as it be. Centre wing, outer side there. We have gone 9 minutes into the second term. It is Glenelg by 7 points.
They're trying to isolate Charlie Cameron, 2 guys, the Adelaide side. Pushed him deep inside forward 50, the only man there at the moment.
O'Brien the better, lovely little tap to Grigg. He runs away from the pack and then kicks for Adelaide down towards half forward, in further than that, in fact, in the scoreboard pocket. Rain coming down even heavier. It's making it hard for the players. No clean possession. Umpire will come in and order a ball up. Right in front of that scoreboard, Glenelg 4-5-29, Crows 3-4-22. Umpire comes in, throws it in the air. That rain is absolutely belting down. Not a great night. Comes off the back and then the snap at goal and rolling towards goal. Wasn't far away. He's trying to catch the player who actually did that in the end. But the Crows get another minus score, and it was actually Josh Whitwer on the snap then. So The Bays quick to bring the ball in, but they make the mistake of kicking the ball out on the full from the back pocket, so they'll give Adelaide another opportunity.
And Adelaide bring it in now through Wigg. He puts it up towards the attacking zone once again. Tigers do get a clearance of sorts away. We're through Nason just under the scoreboard. Only player really out there is O'Brien. He's just trying to clear a path now for a teammate to come through and bring it in again to attack. Gee, big fly from Mott. Leapt about last week, unfortunately, though. Miller, handball out. Trying to isolate Rioli now on the outer side of the stoppage. His kick's been partially smothered. Snoop. And he's going to be knocked over the boundary line for a throw-in. Just next to the light tower, still Glenelg 4-5-29, Adelaide 3-5-23. 6-point margin as we tick over towards 10.5, nearly 11 minutes gone into this second term at the Lighterroll Stadium. Throw in. Miller, tap down, straight to Rioli. Kick's been partially smothered, however. Glenelg just trying to work it away through a chain of handballs. That's fairly high risk football in these conditions, you would think. Player's been legged in the middle of all that. Looks to have been hazed. Now, ball just works out now towards Bailey, but there's another free kick behind the play, and it's going to come back now into the direction here of Rakiwaza, I would say, and he'll relieve off half-back for the Tigers.
Just taken high as he disposed of the ball. So Rakiwaza just over the top, pokes the kick, and in between three Crows, it's marked by the Bays, and now interesting kick from Alira. He was wrong-footed. He kicked it left foot, but I think he dropped it with his right hand. It was awkward. Now Callanan knocks the ball out to Martin. Martin gets it back inside, and away goes Mott. Hand pass he received, but he fumbled it. He knocked it forward, and the umpire said it was a throw. Well, I just thought he knocked it forward.
Yep.
But umpire at centre half forward for the Crows decides it was in fact a throw. So Alloway leads up and wide for the Bays, and he takes a sliding mark in front of the grandstand. He is just defensive side of centre wing, and just as he's taken that ball, the rain comes down just a little bit heavier. So Alloway down the line. I tell you what, if you kick the ball too high tonight, the ball is going to go over your head when you're trying to kick it forward. So he gets it down towards centre wing. Ball on the ground, scrappy play, expect that. It is just belting down this rain. The Crows trying to get it away from their half-back line. The umpire will come in and separate the players who are probably, given the cold and the wet, quite happy to hug on to each other.
Don't get any ideas up here, Crossy. All up.
I'm very warm. I'm also dry in the stand. It's beautiful.
Yes, it's not bad conditions out here. Adelaide win it away from the stoppage, but it's to nothing really. Centre wing, grandstand side. Phil Aspinall down on the boundary.
Yeah, just wondering if someone wants to come down here and hug me.
Not that there's anything wrong with that throw in.
But no.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but no.
Best offer I've had all night, mind you. Trying to win it away there was Crouch. Slipped through his fingers. Lonigan just sends a handball back in again towards a nest of Crows and Tigers, and nothing really develops out of that except for a ball up. And it's very hard for players to get clean disposal away tonight, no question about that. Hansen trying to find his way clear. Howard just slipped through his fingers also, but now it comes back out now towards Johansson. He'll be happy enough to see this over the boundary line, you would think, for a throw-in. 75 metres or so around from the Adelaide goal. 3-5-23, Glenelg 4-5-29. Wouldn't mind getting Johansson's stats in a minute too, Coff. He's been in the top three for Glenelg in each match this season, and he's been reasonably well held tonight, I reckon.
Yep.
A boundary throw-in. Martin at the front of the stoppage. Rioli goes to him. O'Brien loops a handball over the top there towards Wigg. He sends a looping handball further down the line, looking for Bollenhagen. He's been wrapped up in a tackle. We're going to have a throw-in. It is Glenelg 4-5-29, Adelaide 3-5-23. We've gone 14 minutes second term.
It sort of slipped up on us, but there has been some action in this quarter on this side of the ground, and it's continuing. And Nason, they've got a hold of his hand, and the umpire's going to say holding the ball. He's unlucky there because he did take possession, but then the Crows had him. One was trapped, and it was Pfeiffer who had him by the arm, and Pfeiffer's going to get the free kick, but well, maybe O'Brien. He was the other tackler in there. In fact, it's going to go to O'Brien, who, if you like, had purchase around the waist. So the combined tackle. So O'Brien goes inboard to Bollenhagen, and he goes high inside the half-forward line, having played on from the mark. Off the back, Bradley over the ball for the Bays. He does well, just trying to scramble it towards the boundary line. Umpire will come in, separate the players again. Yes, he will. Call for a ball up. It's only about 15 metres out from the goal face for the Crows. It's 4-5-29 to 3-5-23. The Bays in front. No clean possession again. Then finally it comes out to Bradley, and then he's thumped to the turf. Ball spills out. Still they work pretty hard. McGinty was in there, got a hand pass out, followed up with a tackle because he handballed it straight to one of the Crows. And in front of that scoreboard, the score's 6 points the margin in favour of Glenelg. 15 gone in the second term. It'll be Chris Kendall to continue with the action, such as it is.
Yes, tap down there. Glenelg do clear it away from the stoppage, but that's only a fairly temporary situation at the best of times at the moment. It's travelled all of about 20 metres and another ball up.
I know it's been a bit of an arm wrestle, Chris, but the Tigers will be pretty happy how it's gone so far. They've kept the Crows goalless in this quarter, so great result so far. Still a bit of time to go, though. 10 minutes, you'd imagine, in this quarter.
Alloway was into the ruck. He got the clearance away by foot and only went down about 35 metres or so before another ball up. Umpires are certainly earning their keep tonight. Not much question about that. Phil Aspin was earning his down in the boundary also.
Well, I'm not sure if he is. He hasn't been sighted down there tonight.
It's a part of a rotation policy, I believe, at the moment. He's on the bench at present. Another pack situation develops. Another ball up. No clear disposal now for about a minute of play. It's just been bobbling around. It's like a game of pinball. Grigg couldn't quite get a clear disposal away of it. O'Brien's there also. Grigg still sweating over it along with Alloway. Umpire comes in and says that I'll try and do something with it. But players are just, they're moving in a big mass. I mean, Alloway's been knocked straight in the back there. That is not one of O'Brien's most subtle moments in football. Alloway will get a clearance away from half-back outer side just near the scoreboard. He's just had enough of that, and he's hoofed a big torp. He's looking down there for the teammate McGinty. He couldn't quite get the mark. As a matter of fact, that was Miller. Now, just trying to work it away through there is Bailey. Callanan on his hammer and tack. We are going to have a throw in centre wing outer side. It is Glenelg 4-5-29, Adelaide 3-5-23. Phil Aspinall and Neil Cross.
Yeah, guys, just a quick update from Adelaide Oval. 7 minutes into the second quarter. Port Adelaide getting themselves a nice handy lead. 4-3 to Norwood 1-4.
Ball on the far side of the ground. Baines still lead it by that 6 point margin. It comes back to O'Brien. He couldn't get through the pack. Grigg just hacked it with his left foot through the pack. He did pretty well. Spenceley just tried to keep it in at half forward. Bayes trying to run it towards the line, and in the end, the Bay player there in Jaron Jackie able to take the ball over the line. Jaron Jackie, what a story he is. He was with, you might remember him from such places as the Adelaide Football Club.
I do.
Only briefly.
And the Eagles, he was there. Played mainly reserves. The Eagles. Woodville West Torrens.
Ball back into play as they crowd around waiting on the umpire to come in. The players are almost resigned to that fact. Now the umpire surely will call for a ball up, and he does. They're looking at Jaron Jackie. Yes, you might know him from, as we said, Adelaide. He played 3 games there and the Eagles, of course. But he also played at Subiaco, the Peel Thunder and Swan Districts across in the WAFL.
And Glenelg do win it away from the stoppage, but only as far as the boundary line, where it beats Scott over the boundary. 4-5-29 Glenelg. Adelaide 3-5-23, 18 and a half gone as that rain starts to bucket down again. And no, folks, your radio's not stuck. The rain buckets down, another stoppage.
I reckon we've had 2 inches of rain since the game's been going.
2 inches is often very handy on a cold night. Tap down. Trying to work their way through. Now, Adelaide do get a clearance of sorts out here, though. Looking down there for Crouch. He's trying to worry his opponent out of it. Rioli in there as well. Spenceley, Bollenhagen just hacks it in towards the top of the 50, but it's on the turf. Whitworth took an opponent high there. Surely, I reckon the umpires missed that one. Snook cleared it away. Out it towards the centre wing, but Adelaide just pump it in towards the attack again for Martin.
It is pouring.
Oh, just in towards the top of the 50. Flying snap there looks to be from
he's hit
Callanan.
the post.
Yeah, it's a minor score. As fair income, folks, I can hardly see the scoreboard, but it says 3-6-24 Glenelg, 4-5-29. You can probably hear the rain, you can probably hear the wind, and you can see animals 2 by 2 lining up.
Staying together that way, isn't it? Even worse, the wind direction slightly changed, so we're getting a little bit damp here, as long as the equipment stays dry. So from the kick in,
that'll be a bonus.
It's come to Darcy Bailey. He goes wide for Ben Nason. 2 wide, in fact. I think the umpire out there is doing well, and Ben Nason's saying that ball didn't go over the line on the full, and the umpire says, well, I guessed.
Now, those people sitting in the outer tonight, they must be parents of players, or they're crazy because the wind is coming in at right angles at the moment, and their umbrellas would be doing nothing.
Well, they're turning inside out if you look closely, Koff. So the ball inside the forward line of, I have to work it out for a sec. Yes, it's Adelaide's forward line, isn't it?
Yep.
So it's 3-6-24 for Adelaide, 4-5-29 for the Bays. It's out in the pocket, and we're into time on in this second term.
And there wouldn't be much, Neil, either. There hasn't been a goal scored in this quarter.
No, I don't think we're going to see too much time on in this particular term.
Boundary throw in. Mott and Miller going at it. Miller tried to get a foot to it, and that's really the only way you can get it. Soccer just comes out of the pack there from nowhere, and it's over the boundary line. Now there's an enterprising person on the hill over there who's got their car headlights on. That's fantastic. They must have thought they were at Noongar Oval.
Phil, I want you to see if you can get out and get a interview at half time if you can.
No thanks, gentlemen.
You're getting an interview with no other way things are going down. Other stoppage, other players just trying to work their way through. It has been cleared out by Hayes by the looks of things. Well, that has gone again towards the boundary line for another throw in next to the scoreboard. It's 50 metres out from the Adelaide goal, or about 2 or 3 minutes by high tide, as it's about to come spinning back into play. Mott and Miller. Tap down. Glenelg win the clearance away, but Adelaide, Greg was just dispossessed. Didn't seem to have it. Their umpire put his whistle to his mouth but didn't blow it. Ball's just bobbling around there. Scott sweating over it.
I don't want to go early, guys, but next goal wins.
Ball up. It's just to the Adelaide advantage there of centre wing out of side. Pitt just tries to get a clearing kick away. And it's going to be a throw-in as it beats Bradley over the boundary line. It is Glenelg 4-5-29, Adelaide 3-6-24, 22 gone in the second term. And as the boys mentioned, we have not had a goal this quarter.
Well, right now, I still think Darcy Bailey's the smartest man on the ground. He's got the long sleeves on. And the boundary umpire's done well too, because he's hurled that ball back into play, and he's hurled it towards the centre, and the ball's floated back to go straight to where the ruckmen are. So he's done all right there. Meanwhile, the play continues, and the boundary umpire gets to throw it in again. So the wind pushing the ball to that side of the ground, or the tide, if you like, as Chris mentioned. Now he's thrown it in at the centre, and it's gone down to half forward nearly as the breeze took it. O'Brien on the ground, slopping around, as are several players. Nobody can get a clean possession. No surprise, really. Umpire comes in, says, I'll have it. Must be close to half-time. It's 4-5-29 the Bays. The Crows 3-6-24. This is not pretty to watch, and you can understand why. This rain has been virtually with us since about the 20-minute mark of the opening term. The Crows break away, but ever so slightly. Crouch just handballs over his head. Surely, now it comes to Earl for
years. 34 years of age today, and that was a ripper, and he can just about seal it for the Tigers here. A long way out, though.
big call from Koff.
That looks good.
But the birthday boy has a goal, and that's his third of the evening. So a great performance from a key forward on a night where it couldn't be any worse for a key forward, let me tell you that. So the Bays move along to 7-8-50, a 19-point lead over Adelaide, 4-7-31, 23, almost 24 minutes gone. Third term, Phil Aspinall on the boundary.
Yeah, guys, an update from Adelaide Oval. John Butcher has soccered through a behind at the 11.5-minute mark of the third term. It's 4-3-27 to the Magpies, 3 goals, 9-27 to the Redlegs.
And great to see Clint Alloway too, Chris, playing 34 years of age. You never get the senior guys hanging around much anymore, but it's great to see him still going.
Absolutely hope for all of us. Yeah, as Callanan wins it away at the stoppage, puts the Crows up towards the centre-half forward area. Just trying to burn his way through there is Wilson, but arriving there and clearing it away is Bradley for the Tigers. He puts it back in towards the centre of Glenelg Oval. Nason running backwards with the flight of the ball. That was clever stuff. Gets it out now towards Scott, but arriving now for the Cavalry is Carey. He just clears it back in again towards the attacking area for Adelaide. It's just outside the 50-metre arc, however. Good pressure in there from Bradley on his Crows opponent. Going on hands and knees there was Woolard. He does manage to shovel a handball out. They'll be looking for the boundary line here, Glenelg, under immense pressure, and they get it. 65 to 70 metres out now from the Adelaide goal. Game high, equal 19-point margin. As we've gone 25 minutes into this third term. Boundary throw in. O'Brien. Callanan just tried to soccer it away. Kick was partially smothered there by Glenelg player's head, unfortunately. Nason. His handball has also been partly smothered. Wigg Loops a handball over the top there, and Adelaide should be able to work it away from the stoppage, but it's been cut off well out there by Miller again at centre wing out of sight.
Yeah, and a good kick.
He has got a man breaking to the centre there. Oh,
Gee,
just
the
a little
wind's
bit
got
too
hold
hot
of
there
that.
for Rioli. It certainly did. Now Rioli's going to need a little bit of assistance, and he does get it out there. A really good clean pickup out there by Johansson. Now he's setting it up there for Rioli. Just needs to twist and turn and set it up towards the back of the square where
he
Scott
dropped it.
couldn't quite take it. Does he recover?
Oh.
He does, but only for a minor score. Game high 20-point margin now, however, though. 7-9-51. Adelaide reserves 4-7-31. That kick from Johansson about 5 metres too far to Rioli.
So a chance for Adelaide to get a turn with the ball. They go to the outer side from the kick in. Miller comes over the top. Umpire calls play on when O'Brien wanted to claim the mark. He released the hand pass. Now he tries to bullock his way through. Scrambles a kick 10 metres down the ground. Mott over it. Bays come in though. Rakawasa taken to ground. Release the ball out. Taken off the ground nicely by Crouch.
They're away here.
Now through the middle. They get it to Cameron. Cameron's hand pass was awkward. Just shouldn't have maybe tried that in the wet. And now going to ground, Gallen, and the umpire will come in and say, Galley, I should say, and goes to ground, and the umpire comes in and says, well, ball it up. It's right at centre half forward for Adelaide.
He saved a goal there, Neil. They were away 3-1 it was.
Ball thrown up, comes out the back. It'll come in the direction of the Bays on centre wing. They'll get away through Johansson. He goes down looking for Alloway, forces his way to the front, comes off his chest. He's surrounded by three, makes the contest, but Adelaide eventually through Martin, who was taken high. Wasn't very happy about it too. He wanted a piece of the Bays play. There's 25 on top of that. He wanted a piece of Scott. He didn't get it. Then Johansson went over the mark, and the umpire said, come back 25. I think besides anything else, come back 25. Maybe that'll settle the boys down.
So Martin indicating he wants to go longer. Grandstand wing side. Martin just pops it up in towards the Mott direction. Fly at the back there was slightly premature there from Ramsey also. Ball just bobbling out there. Joseph gets the clearance away. Slipping through Nason's fingers. Adelaide have got the numbers here. Lever playing a long way up the ground. Just hacks the Crows up in towards the attacking area once again. Cameron trying to work his opponent under the ball there. Joseph arrives. They're just trying to keep it alive now. Adelaide, Joseph, that's good work. He should be able to clear it away from the stoppage. Now plenty of numbers here for the Tigers. Where do you start? Firstly with Earl.
25.
Takes the mark and 25. That was very careless in there, you would have to say, by Adelaide.
Yeah, Mitch Grigg was the offending player.
Now Rioli's out here all by himself out here on the wing. If he can see him, no, he's left a little bit too long there.
Just an AFL score update, Chris, while there's a stoppage. Melbourne are in front in this one, 6-7-43. The Tigers 5-10-40.
Looking up down there for Miller. Bailey, Adelaide, they should be able to work at it here. Bollenhagen on his preferred left foot. Puts him up again towards half forward. All the Tigers back here, you would say here. And the siren sounds just as Adelaide were moving into attack. Have Glenelg got enough in hand at three-quarter time? 7-9-51. Adelaide 4-7-31, a 20-point margin. And the Tigers fans will be starting to get restless, Cough.
Yep, have they got the legs to go on with it? Let's have a look at the goal scorers first of all for the Tigers. 3 goals to Clint Alloway and then singles to
Bays. Clean kick at last. It goes up in the air and then comes down, and nobody can judge it because the breeze is just making it tumble. Finally, they form a pack again. It might have been Crouch got it out there again. And now the umpire comes in and says he'll pick out a free kick, in fact. And it will be to Earl, I think, who was the man at the bottom of that pack. So at right half forward, it's on the outer side of the Bay Oval. And Earl's kick goes up in the air and the wind takes it and it's out on the full. Never looked like going anywhere but there. And the players might have to go over the fence to get the ball because the people who are over there, the half dozen sitting under umbrellas, are not moving. You couldn't pay them to move.
Martin's the man to bring it back in.
If you want the ball, you come and get it.
That was actually Lockie Earl's first free kick of the year, and he was so surprised by it, he kicked it straight out in the full. Keeping it again on the outer side, both teams, as it just dribbles over the boundary line, beats Earl over there. Another throw in. Glenelg 4-5-29, Adelaide 3-6-24.
I tell you what, guys, the other people I feel sorry for are these little kids that are coming out now in the mini league.
Actually, I saw them pass before, and I was nearly going to say that's about 40 of the bravest kids you've ever seen.
Oh, it was tougher back in our day. We used to play underwater. Throw in.
One kid's got a hoodie on. He's playing in the mini league with a hoodie on.
He'll be off to university. That kid, he's the smartest one out there. Ball up again on the centre wing, out of side. Still no change.
You can't do that.
Folks, if you're at home, it is hard to describe just what these conditions are like. This is some of the worst conditions I have seen in 40 years of SANFL. Tap down. Glenelg just try to get it away now through Malira. Taps it out there, looking down there for Nason, but dropping in there with Sutcliffe. Working it back now is Wigg for Adelaide. He's kicked it straight down there towards Miller, who just wheels around and punts him in again towards the attacking zone. Now it's going to end up with Rioli. Does he get clean purchase on it? Can he get clear possession on it? Can he get the ball in his hands? No, he can't. It's slipping through in there. The ball's just come hacking out of the pack. Looked to be by Johansson. It's going to be rushed over there for a minor score, and Willie Rioli has slid into the fence there. No real surprise. 4-7-31. No matter of fact, it's 4-6-30. Glenelg, Adelaide 3-6-24.
So 6 points the margin.
Those poor little kids are just standing down there in the rain. Wait, what have they got them out there in the rain for? Why can't they stay in the grandstand of the half-time bells goes?
Probably some sort of character building thing.
Team building.
The ball, meanwhile, has been hacked out of Adelaide's defensive zone by Lever. It's gone out of bounds on the far side of the ground. My point with all those kids down there is why the hell the coaches are dumb enough to stand with them. You'd be standing in the room saying, boys, go out and play.
Put up the goals yourself and go for it.
In fact, we've gone through, 6 points the margin in favour of the Bays. We've gone through 26 minutes. It's possible that the timekeepers have decided that they can find warmer places to be, because I don't know about the amount of time on we've had in this quarter. It seems a lot. Ball out of bounds is Darcy Bailey. It was. He hacked the ball down the line, and Phil, you've surfaced from down there on the boundary.
Yeah, I found myself a little hut, guys. I think the umpires, observers normally sit down in here, but they're obviously up in the stands. But just did notice a few specks of hail bouncing off the turf.
As long as they don't bounce off your head, Philip.
Well, that's comforting for the kids. Bollenhagen wins it away from the stoppage. Looking down there for O'Brien, but it worked through his fingers. Plays player wrapped up in a tackle there. It's Hayes, and we're going to have a ball up about 75 metres out from the Glenelg goal.
This is torrential rain.
Centre wing, outer side. Umpire Crosby throws the ball up. Crouch just sockers it away from the stoppage, but it looks to have been kicking in danger. Yeah, it was. The umpires picked that one up, and it's going to come back now to the Tigers. So we're leaving there. It looks to be Joseph.
I'm not sure, Chris, how we can get 26 minutes without a goal being scored.
You've got influence in the SANFL, haven't you, Coff? Right on cue there. There's the half-time siren. Is Glenelg 4-6-30. Adelaide 3 goals, 6-24. In that quarter, 3 behinds to Glenelg and 5 behinds to Adelaide.
Yes, and
Bursts.
yeah, but something warm, Philip. Come on. How about that toasted ham and cheese sandwich that's down there?
If you're not careful, Megan Trainer will be right. It is all about the base with you, big fella, at the moment. As we are back in the centre here to kick off the second half here. Glenelg 4-6-30. Adelaide 3-6-24. Umpire holds the ball off. He's surely not going to bounce this. No, he's throwing it up. Very sensible. Miller and O'Brien going at it again. O'Brien got the tap down, but straight as far as Snook, who cleared it away down towards Lonergan. Lonergan puts the Tigers deep in towards the attacking zone again. Running onto the back of it beautifully. There is Malira.
Rioli, isn't it?
No, it is Rioli. He's changed the boots there at half-time. So it gets the Tigers back out to a 12-point margin. 5-6-36, the Tigers, and Adelaide 3-6-24.
Yeah, great work there by Rioli, and great work there by the Tigers. And the big fella in O'Brien, he's coming off. He looks like he's got the blood rule or something here. He's coming straight off the ground, so that's a bit of a blow. And Mott will have to go into the ruck. But great clearance there, the Tigers. Rioli ran onto the foot. He kicked his first goal of the game.
Well, there you go. How vital's that? New ball, of course, to start the second half. And the first centre break goes to the Tigers. And within 30 seconds, they've got a goal. Now they've got another centre break through a free kick. And they get down to half forward and over the back, Nason. He's running onto the ball, onto his left foot. Oh, it's just blocked by Lever. He did well. He was desperate, the young man. And he's going to force a ball up in the left forward pocket for the Bays. That clearance out of the middle by Snook. That's really set up the Bays, you'd think, in this quarter. 5-6-36 plays 3-6-24. Tigers in front. Alloway trying to force his way through the pack. Mott was there briefly. Now Snook, well, he managed to get a hand pass out, and then the ball was smothered off the boot of one of his own players. And still, we're all talking this action happening within a 5 to a 7 metre arc of the field, and it's just not going anywhere. Then finally it comes out, albeit briefly, and towards the boundary line and eventually over. So we'll get a throw in. It's around about half forward, about 45, 50 metres out from the Tigers' goals. And they're attacking the southern end of the ground, and that's with the advantage of the breeze in this quarter.
Mott's gone into the ruck now opposed to Alloway. Big tackle there laid by Mott, but the ball just spills out the back of the pack here again. McGinnity, just a searching handball down there for Snook. He's wrapped up in a tackle strongly out there near the scoreboard by Mott. We're going to have another ball up. And Terry Malira is also adhered now to the long sleeves. So ball up. No one really able to get clear purchase on that. That was a creative sort of tap forward there by Mott. Going on hands and knees there is Hayes. Another ball up develops. It's just bobbling around here at the stoppages. It's about probably 60 metres out from the Glenelg goal, kicking towards the school end. Mott timed a little bit better there than Miller and got the tap down. Clears out towards the outer side, but that's going to be out of bounds in the full. The man to bring it back in will be Galley, centre wing outer side. And he's just waiting for a spectator to appear on that outer side, and finally does get one. So Galley's got a couple of options in ball, but he's going to go long and direct. That's not a bad idea. Put it in now towards the Hayes direction. It slipped through his fingers. Callanan gets the handball off now towards Carey, who just clears it away there from the stoppage. And we're going to have a throw in. It is again centre wing outer side. It is Glenelg 5-6-36, Adelaide 3-6-24.
Adelaide have managed to move the ball 30, 40 metres down the ground. Ball sliding around. We know that's going to happen a lot. Still plenty of water on the surface after the downpour that we had from about the 20-minute mark of the opening term right through the second term to nearly to half time. Now Miller reaches over the top of his opponent and Mott. He knocks it down towards Nason, carried forward in the tackle. Umpire said no. Nason now with a couple of crows over the top of him, and the Bay player has to surrender the ball, looks up at the umpire and says, well, hang on. I was not here by accident. It was in the back. So the umpire throws the ball in the air. This is all the action taking place, as most of it has tonight, on the outer side of the Bay Oval. And the ball's now just carried forward and out of bounds.
Guys, just noticed the interchange happened there for the Tigers. And Jake Sutcliffe, waiting for his opponent to come on, stayed at the half-forward flank there and just was doing running jumps on the spot, obviously wanting just to keep warm.
Sensible bloke. Another pack situation develops. Ribbons in there. He's been wrapped up well in a tackle by Raki Wazra. We're going to have a ball up. I thought the weather forecast mustn't be too bad because a bloke just a few rows down lit up a cigarette right in front of us. He was pretty confident. Tap down. Out Callanan just slips through his fingers. Howard in there also. Tigers do win it away from that clearance. Scott can't quite get the clear disposal away. Neither can Hayes. It's just really bobbling around in there like pinball at the moment. Malia at the top of the pack. Hayes in there. Bailey as well. Another ball up. As Luke Carey just throwing the ball back to the umpire. 70 metres out from the Glenelg go. Scoreboard side of half-forward flank. There's been an infringement there at the stoppage, and it's going to be to Miller. Handball's off there towards a teammate there who couldn't really get the disposal away. He wasn't really ready for it, so the ball just bubbles back in again towards Raki Waza though. So there's some overuse of handball now by the Tigers. Woolard.
Got no one to go, do?
No, he has got one here in the centre, and it's Malira.
Good kick.
It's a good kick. Now Malira just hoofs the torpedo in towards the top of the 50, punched away there from Alloway. Ball just lurking around there. Wig, looping handball over the top now towards Grigg. So they're attacking now in rhyme. Adelaide just look to clear it away again temporarily from the stoppage. Bringing it here towards this grandstand side. Now sitting under that there is Spenceley. He dropped what he can't really say what he should have taken in these conditions, but arriving on the scene now is Cameron. Wilson, I should say. He just pokes it up in towards the half-forward line. That is a good strong mark taken in there by Cameron. That's an absolute Barry Crocker of a kick that went all of about 10 metres straight along the ground. He goes back in there to try and repair the situation. Woolard. Kick's been partially smothered. Now it's with Wilson, who extracts a banana kick from nowhere. Oh, it's just from the wrong side of the post there. Minor score. That was almost very exciting stuff there. 3-7-25 Adelaide. Glenelg 5-6-36. There's an Adelaide fan in the grandstand.
Just a ball to boot at the moment. It's exciting, Chris.
So going through 6.5 minutes in this third term. Adelaide have managed to get the ball back on centre wing after the Bays had brought it in. It's in the centre of the ground now with Grigg, and then a delicate left foot kick. He wasn't able to find his man though. Intercepting there was Jaron Jackie over the ball, just handballed it forward for the Bays. They're just trying so hard, desperately trying to get into the open. And when they do, they're just going to smash it as best they can down to the other end of the ground. And with the breeze, it's not a bad plan. Adelaide forcing against the tide. Comes to Jackie again. Hand pass out was pretty good. Finally comes to Nason. He's got some room. Comes down to this side of the ground. And Scott had the ball just knocked away from him. Coming out in front of him was Luke Carey, who knocked the ball over the line just near this race on the centre wing. 7 minutes gone in the third term. 11-point margin in favour of the Tigers. It's tight and it's desperate, but you couldn't say it's pretty football.
No, I don't think Scott Fisher at Adelaide is going to be knocked over for requests for this game from the fans somehow. Adelaide do win it away from the stoppage, and that was there by the man in Sutcliffe, but the ball just dribbles over the boundary line for a throw-in just in front of the cricket club. Matter of fact, that was Spenceley, so throw-in about just on the 50 for Adelaide.
Can you see the 50, can you?
Yeah, just. It's a fairly congested forward line, no real surprises there. Tap down. Working the back of the pack there is Howard for Glenelg. And just kicks it in now. Adelaide just look to put it back in towards the stoppage. It just slipped through Miller's fingers. Running on hands and knees now. Malira just dribbling it down grandstand side boundary line. Another throw in. 5-6 at 36 Glenelg. The Adelaide reserves 3-7-25. One-on-one contests towards the Glenelg side. One loose man working in there though. That's Pfeiffer. Bailey works his way straight into the wig tackle. Bobs out the back here. Adelaide, O'Brien, he's back on the ground. That's good signs for Adelaide. Only as far as Malira though. Now sitting under there is Wigan. He should take that. No. Clever in the end there. He just took the short step when he actually needed to, really. He's looking down there for Bolenhagen. His pocket's been picked by Malira. Now the Tigers are into attack. Now it's going to be with Alloway at the top of the 50.
That was a smart kick, Chris. He's sort of a bit of a check side around the corner, Willie Rioli, and found Alloway, and it was a beautifully weighted kick.
So Alloway will be lining up from 50. This for his third major. Now, Grant Coffey has declared him one of the best SANFL kicks of all time recently.
Marks.
Marks, I should say. Well, let's see how the kicking's going. Yeah, we both backed the wrong horse there, Coff. Minus score. 5 goals, 7:37. Adelaide reserves 3-7-25. 12-point margin, 9 minutes gone, third term. RPH football with Neil Cross.
And they're the sort of ones you need to kick in these sort of conditions, because a goal either way is going to be the difference in this game. And it was a long shot, 50 metres, but had the breeze behind him.
Because the other thing is the Bays have a reputation, not hard earned this season, but nevertheless earned, and they seem to stop, as their coach mentioned, in Matty Locken, that they just can't seem to play out 4 quarters. So, mind you, of course, Adelaide are not much better. So it'll be interesting to watch how it unfolds in this match. It's a 2-goal margin at the moment, and it's on centre wing the ball, and Grigg does pretty well, fights off a couple, got it down the line another 15 metres or so. Umpire said that was high, so Adelaide will take a free kick. And it's play on immediately. The hand pass there out from Ramsey, and then inside half forward the kick, and it was intercepted. Might be Howard back there, no. Might be, can't pick it up. Bradley it is, who took the mark. And then Bradley's short kick wasn't the best. Callanan hacked it off the ground. It's back inside 50 for the Crows. Rakiwasu came and met it on the ground, and now it's back outside 50. I wonder if we count that as a forward 50 entry for Adelaide. It was shallow, that's for sure. So the ball is going to be thrown in the air by the umpire who called for a ball up there. Rakiwasu unable to get it away. Grigg off the hands of the pack from the ruck. And then Earl just scrambled it away for Adelaide, and it'll come back again, or for Glenelg, I should say. It'll come back for Adelaide. Mott roaming wide, got the hand pass off. Callanan tries to centre it from there. Does it pretty well. The ball was fumbled, and it was fumbled by Crouch, I think it was. And the Bays are allowed to clear it away, and they've managed to get it back all the way to centre wing. A hacked kick, and that's all it needs with this breeze, which is still strong. And it is still drizzling rain, not nearly as strongly raining as it was in the first half. Slippery conditions out there, difficult match, low scoring, 12 points the margin in favour of the Bays. 11 minutes gone, third term.
Miller and O'Brien to go at it. Malira just lurking at the back of the pack. Kick was partially smothered out, but it does go towards the Glenelg advantage. Carey Looping handball over the top. Ends up now further down the lines where it's taken by O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue from the Kapunda Footy Club. Late inclusion tonight for Brock Castry. Just bobbling around again out there on that outer side. Wig on the bottom of the pack. Tigers just sweating over him. They're prepared to wait for the ball up and they get it. So it's just at a bit of a lull in proceedings at the moment. Although there hasn't been an array of highlights, it's fair to say, either. Tap down.
Hasn't been a ray of sunshine anyway.
No. Axiom all right. A little ray of sunshine should come into the world.
Look, that ball's gone.
It has. It's out of bounds on the full.
The ball has gone over into the tennis courts, guys, so they'll need a new footy.
So someone's going to pick up something from that, no doubt.
Tennis club will be raffling that next Saturday night.
Pick up a ball that's hardly seen a goal all night. As it is coming in now from the interchange bench. That's not the greatest of kicks from the Adelaide runner.
No, but to be fair, he did that on purpose.
Yes.
Best way to get it across the ground was to kick a grubber kick, and it'll just skim off the surface.
Not sure if our boundary riders down there that can actually contribute.
Wig just punts the Crows deep in towards the Saki, and big fly from O'Brien. Couldn't quite get it. Scott clears it away now for Adelaide. Will cross the last ball on the boundary shortly. Ball's just bobbling around at half forward again for Adelaide.
Bit hard from the social club.
It isn't indeed there. Big fly in there from Cameron. He couldn't quite take it. Adelaide just trying to work it away. That's a big tackle in there from Howard. Creates the turnover temporarily. Grigg, he's trying to burst his way through. Well tackled in there by Nason. We're going to have a ball up about 40 metres out from the Adelaide goal. 3-7-25, Glenelg 5-7-37. We've gone 13 minutes, third term.
RPH football, we will bring you more SANFL football than anybody else, but just right now it's hard to describe what's going on. It is a real battle of centimetres out there tonight. Adelaide get the ball away from the stoppage and just scramble it forward. Bayes come back and through Bradley, hacks it off the ground and gets it out of bounds. Around 50 out from the Glenelg defensive goal at left half back. Phil Aspinall, is that him down there on the boundary line I can see?
Yeah, it is. No, I'm not. You won't be able to see me. I'm in my little hut down here, Crossy, keeping out of the elements. But that was Glenelg runner Jordan McMahon, a former Richmond and Western Bulldogs player that did grubber that kick across the other side. Chris Gowan's the Crows runner. He wouldn't be able to kick it. His hamstrings are gone.
Tigers have broken away from the stoppage. They've got it down inside half forward. They've done pretty well straightening up and having a hook at goal. But it's away for the minor score. Just trying to pick up, that's Johansson.
It is,
who was the man who grubbered that ball to goal. And gee, it was wide open for him too. And it just shows you how quickly you can move the ball if you get the ball in the air kicking to that southern end of the ground with that breeze.
Adelaide do bring it straight back into the stoppage, but dribbles out of bounds. A couple of hands touch it on the way through, so not out on the full. Next to the scoreboard, which shows Glenelg 5-8-38, Adelaide Reserves 3-7-25. Alloway in the ruck there opposed to O'Brien. Ladder gets the tap down. Bailey on hands and knees trying to shovel out the handball, but no such luck. The cavalry descends, another ball up. So it's in state of flux at the moment. Umpire just what now? Is there a free kick that's been picked out of all this? Look there, yes there is, and it's been to Darcy Bailey, and the umpire was signalling for too high. So Bailey will get the freedom, kicking from about 40 metres out. It just looks to pop in a pass there. That's very poor marking by Adelaide. Lonergan could not believe his luck.
Yep. And you can't, he's an experienced player, Lonergan. He's got AFL experience, and I'm not sure with him sitting in the corridor 30 metres out from goal is acceptable for the Adelaide defence there. Very poor checking, and the runner would be out.
Sammy Lonergan only picked up 3 votes in the McGarry medal last year, and that was in the match versus Adelaide. That's really surprising, actually. I thought it was exceptional in round 1-2, albeit in a big loss to Sturt. But he'll be coming in from 35 metres out to get the margin out to 18.
And it looks good.
Largest margin of the night. Imagine that's 19 now. 6 goals, 8-44. The Adelaide Reserve seemingly marooned on 3-7-25, which is a score they have been on since the 6-minute mark of this term.
Yep, and they haven't kicked a goal since the first quarter. You've probably got the minute mark there, Neil.
13-minute mark. Oh, sorry, Neil. Steal your thunder.
Precise minute mark, 13.50.
13.50.
That was the explosion by Anthony Wilson. He scored that goal for Adelaide, so that's the last time they got a major score. They've really struggled, but then again, the Bays haven't been that productive. They've kicked 2 goals 5 since half time, since quarter time. So back in the middle now. Bays with a handy lead though. May well be end up match winning. Ball back in the middle. Alloway's gone into the ruck. He jumped early. Grigg took it away from the centre. Breaks away with a bounce. Can you believe that? Gets to half forward. Goes at the goal face. Goes long. Cameron was there. Umpire said play on as the ball came to the front of the pack. Mott's almost got it. Just a metre from the line. It's knocked over. Some desperation shown there by McGinty, who fumbled it over the line for the Bays. Phil Aspinall.
Yeah, guys, just a quick shout out. Obviously, through the advent of the internet and technology, we have supporters listening in from interstate. And to Mark Walters, a Bays supporter who'll be tuning in from Victoria. Hopefully you're nice and warm and enjoying the call.
Is that Walters or Waters? Because it's appropriate if it's Waters tonight.
Walters.
From the throw in, a ball up develops at about 35 metres out now from the Adelaide goal. Yes, Waters certainly apt on a night like this. Joseph at the back of the pack there. Alloway, he just clears it away, but that is going to be out on the full.
Where was he kicking the ball, Big Allas, then?
No, he heard a voice, and I think it was in the cricket club. That's where he aimed it for.
I thought he was planning for the breeze. Because there's every chance the breeze was going to blow that all the way down the other end, but it didn't.
So Ben, was going to be O'Donoghue bringing it back in, but now it's Whitwood takes the responsibilities.
Yeah, too far out. He's a good kick of the footy, Josh, but he's a bit too far out, you would imagine.
Just wants to pop it in towards the top of the square from about 55 metres out. That's a lovely kick, actually. Get a Martin in there. Plenty of hands in there. Looking to see that over the boundary line, you would think, is Rakiwaza. And it's down there for the boundary throw-in. Just around from the Adelaide goal. They are kicking towards the northern end. This is in the Cricket Club corner. Leading by 19 points at the moment, the Tigers. Can they hang on? Their long-suffering fans will be willing this one at home. Throw in. Alloway. Double-fisted tap down. Ball's just one out of the stoppage there. Adelaide couldn't quite get it in towards the scoring zone, however. Going on hands and knees there. And having a good shot at the goal there is Bollenhagen, who's pulled something out of absolutely nothing. Clever work in there from the former Fremantle listed midfielder, the only AFL experienced top-up player for the Crows. And as you can hear by the reaction from the crowd, that was a goal. 4 goals, 7:31. Glenelg 6-8-44, a 13-point margin. And that's the one they really needed, Cough, to get some scoreboard pressure on.
Yep, and he's come off the ground, Bollenhagen there. First goal of the game. Beautiful left foot kick. He sort of went to ground, got himself up, wheeled back around onto the left foot. And it was sort of a worm-burning kick. It only went about 2 metres off the ground. Had some penetration in it against the breeze. And that's the goal they needed, the Adelaide side. They need a couple in a row here. It's been a long time between drinks. That's their first one since the first quarter.
Indeed it is. Centre break, meanwhile, has gone the Bays' way, and they've got it down to centre half forward already. The umpire comes in as the pack forms and says, I'll have it. So 13 the margin, approaching time on in this third quarter. We'd only just said we thought the Bays had could be a match-winning break. Now out of the pack, not going anywhere. Umpire will come in again. It's incredible to watch that last 5 minutes of footy. It was all up the Adelaide end. They were forcing it forward. Then eventually the dam broke. Bollenhagen with the goal. Crows out of it on centre wing again. Comes out towards Joseph though for the Bays, and he goes straight for the boundary line. Umpire will give him the benefit of the doubt and throw the ball in. So it's right in front of the grandstand here at the Bay, where the majority of supporters, the sensible ones anyway, are sitting. 13-point margin in favour of the Bays. Ball thrown back in. O'Brien brings it to the front. Earl wrote the rove, and then a hand pass off. And inside 50, the kick from Josh Scott. Bays with a chance. No, Alloway taken to ground just as he was trying to free the hands, and he wanted holding the man. Well, sorry, Clint, but at the time you were tackled, you actually had the ball. So it's out of bounds. Right forward pocket for Glenelg. They've pretty much dominated the first half of this quarter, but the Crows got that one goal back just before from Bollenhagen.
O'Brien gets the tap down. Trying to work his way through there again was Earl. Bailey in at the bottom of the pack, just trying to shovel out. Another ball up, however. 25 metres out from the Glenelg goal, straight in front. Alloway and O'Brien going at it. Former gets the tap down, slips through Rioli's fingers. Crouch, who's been well down on his normal numbers tonight, I'd suggest too. Lever. Actually, he's dropped out after a pretty big first quarter also.
Yeah, had plenty of the footy early.
Another stoppage, another ball up 20 metres out from the Glenelg goal. As we tick over towards the 21-minute mark, they would love one on the edge of three-quarter time. Umpire Crosby just trying to vainly clear some space in there. Kick partially smothered.
Another goal before three-quarter time to the Tigers, Chris, will make it pretty tough.
Yep, certainly will. Just on hands and knees there is Carey, just trying to shovel it out. Well tackled there by Pitt. Bailey also brings him to ground. And now it's about 15 metres out, 12.5 metres from the
A bit
goal.
of push and shove here.
There is. There's a bit going on. Umpire's just trying to tell him to concentrate on the football. He bowls it up. That's the best way to get things moving. Tap down, just slipping through Joseph's fingers. Nason goes backwards by hand there towards Malera, who does a flying shot at the goals there, but there was more ambition in there than accuracy. Out of bounds on the full. Adelaide to bring it back into play in the Snout-Slouts pocket. 6.8.44 Glenelg. The Adelaide reserves 4.7.31. We have gone 22 minutes into the third term.
Now Matt Crouch has picked up a ball there which was in the bag behind the goals, I think, and the umpire said, no, you can't do that. You've got to wait for the little lad who's behind the goals to kick the ball back to you. So there's a waste of 20 or 30 seconds. So Crouch has taken the free kick, kicks down the line. That's this side of the ground. Off the pack, almost taken by Lonergan. Instead, O'Brien scrambles a kick 25 metres away, and it'll come back in for the base through Galley, high to the pocket. Alloway, middle of the pack, has taken a great strong mark. He had good opposition there too from Lever, I think it was, and Alloway got the best position and got his big chest to the ball and wrapped the arms around it. So he'll go back and have a look at goal. Probably only a 45-degree angle, and he's only some 20 metres out. And again, this is a vital moment in this game, Coff.
It is, and I reckon my comment stands pretty strong. He has been one of the best marks in the SANFL over the last 10